Good evening, and welcome to Real Look with Beatrix Altringham.
And her father fought for her freedom. Apparently they were not successful.
Kangaroos! Iguana! No! Good evening, and welcome to Real Look with Beatrix Altringham. I am your host, Beatrix Altringham. This evening, we are taking a journey beyond the lens into the world of the critically acclaimed film Bessin des Amoureux, which is set against the lush backdrop of rural Ireland. Joining us tonight is renowned documentarian Alric Postlethwaite Heptonstall.
Thank you, Beatrix, and welcome all to the show that covers America's favourite films. Today, you've all heard of The Wizard of Oz, Back to the Future, and Mad Max. 3 movies that almost never got completed due to devastating roadblocks. But very few have heard of the trials that recent Oscar-winning film, Bessin des Amoureux, faced. A nation in turmoil, pestilence, abrupt darkness, and the attempted character assassination that threatened to end the film and the career of its famed director, Albert Guirguis.
Mr. Gargis, what do you have to say for yourself?
Today, we will tell all.
Now let's take a real look at the pivotal scene of the film, which is tantamount to cinematic magic.
Behind the master of this film is the hottest and youngest director in Hollywood,
Brilliant filmmaker, Oscar-nominated writer and director,
Albert Guirguis.
I think we got it. You think we got it?
Are we done yet?
But this story of overcoming obstacles started with one of cataclysmic proportion. A nation in turmoil. Ireland, a nation still on the brink of economic collapse due to the devastating effects that coronavirus had on its tourism industry about 3 years ago. Its citizens, desperate, called for their president to recruit the big budget director to make a big budget film in their country. The president heard their calls and rushed to create a task force. He summoned Liam Neeson, known publicly to be a close friend of Albert. His goal? Have Neeson woo Guirguis to meet with him in his presidential palace. Albert, months off of his last blockbuster hit, agreed. They met up this tiny staircase in the president's secluded meeting quarters. The entire nation watched, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, knowing that should a positive conclusion be reached, the bells would toll and white smoke would billow out of the president's palace. The clock ticking, and deep into the Irish night, shouts of joy. Tremendously, the cherished white smoke appeared and the celebrations began, celebrating Albert and the sign of a new day in Ireland's nation.
What a large amount of people. The mastery of the film, of course, comes from its all-star cast, guided by director extraordinaire Albert Guiguis. But who are these people, really? Let's take a real look.
Well, Beatrix, these people presented a challenge for Albert. Albert has answered a nation's call for help, yes, but now he would greatly struggle to maintain control of a set full of large personalities.
We just have to get Agnes coming in, full steam ahead.
All right, we're in.
Okay.
Hey Simone, can you give me something here, please?
You are very
Aye, aye, aye.
Get control of your sets, monsieur.
The first, Agnes Aubergine,
This is a disaster.
the high-strung, Oscar-winning actress from France.
In my last film, Le Petit Frites, I played the mama French fry. It is called Le Petit Frites. It's very difficult because I am not a mama, so I really had to go deep.
It was this deep emotional performance that initially inspired Albert to cast Agnes in this film. However, Agnes greatly struggled to grasp the most pivotal scene of the film.
More.
You have destroyed our love!
Hold on, you forgot the boom boom. You didn't get the boom boom. You have to say the boom boom. Again.
What's
Boom,
what
boom.
is my line?
Freeze, motherfucker. Boom, boom. And then you say,
Please, motherfucker.
yes, freeze, motherfucker.
In an unforeseen disaster, Agnes was viciously attacked by mosquitoes.
Cut. Let's pick back up. Is it a mosquito problem?
Yes, there are mosquitoes everywhere!
Okay, can we try again without the mosquitoes?
Tell the mosquitoes to go away! Tell them to go away!
An allergic reaction immediately created a bottleneck in production.
What is she doing?
With the lead character of the film now out of commission, Albert ran into more unforeseen problems. Simone de Beauvoir, America's sweetheart. It seemed impossible for Albert to direct her and former lover Ricky Santiago in the midst of a very public unraveling of their once passionate love affair.
Why is he making the shark noises?
Oh, would you just go with it?
What, go with the stupid idea? You want me to yes and our way to Cannes? That's not how you get into Cannes.
Because of the pressure, Simone de Beauvoir began experiencing serious physical reactions, which presented a serious problem for Albert, and seemed to make the reality of finishing his film even more grim. Here's her latest love interest, Brian, explaining their predicament.
So she's very tired a lot of times. Sometimes will be sleeping on a train or a bus or shooting a movie.
The stress of certain situations can bring one on. I don't love talking about it.
I think she has some type of, it's like an adult onset type 2 narcolepsy. She just passes out in the middle
Well,
of,
it's not narcolepsy. It is a sleeping disorder.
it's not IBS.
What are you, a doctor?
To know the difference between IBS and narcolepsy, I have to be a doctor. I'm gonna call Dr. Oz.
Yeah, call Dr. Oz.
With the temporary halt in production due to Agnes's allergic reaction and Simone's narcolepsy, Albert, in his youthful logic, looked to his assistant director Lurleen and tried to lighten the mood by posting this picture of himself and Lurleen on his Instagram page. Lurleen filed a defamation lawsuit against Albert, and this time, the set was shut down, seemingly for good. as Albert became embattled in court proceedings. Kate Winslet commented publicly on what appeared to be the end of Albert's young career.
I know you're very busy. I really appreciate your taking some time and joining us.
He's known in the workplace for being quite difficult to work with, but at the end of the day, he was a visionary genius. He was also a great collaborator and capable of warmth as well. And he was also very inspiring.
As all hope seemed to be lost, Liam Neeson began to wage war for his friend Albert.
There is a bit of a witch hunt happening.
In what sense?
There's some people, famous people, being suddenly accused.
Albert hired one of the most esteemed and vicious lawyers in the United States, Gottlieb Spickelmeyer.
Mr. Gorgas! Mr. Gorgas! Mr. Gorgas!
Get out of here!
What do you have to say for yourself?
Get out of here!
What about the comments from Kate Winslet, huh?
Tell Kate Winslet I was better than Leo.
Not long after being hired, Gottlieb found what appeared to be a bombshell revelation in the case.
Call it what you will. Embellishment, mischaracterizations, lies.
This is a huge plot and scheme by the producer and her to take advantage of my poor client. I have emails here, Wolf, which were sent prior to any Instagram post by my client, and I quote, "Let's just wait till he slips up. LOL. Then I can take over." Disgusting, Wolf. She should be ashamed of herself. Your viewers should be ashamed of themselves, and you should be ashamed of yourselves for even giving her the time of day. Thank you, and fuck.
Sorry, we just lost our tech connection, unfortunately.
Albert, now free and cleared of any wrongdoing, was allowed to return to shooting, although the majority of his crew left him, and he was only left with Agnes Aubergine and Ricky Santiago. They arrived here, back in Ireland, to shoot the last remaining scene of the film.
Okay, so where did you say you were at? Yeah, we're at the airport right now. That's not her. We're waiting for a limo.
No, right here. This is what you ordered.
We're waiting for a limo here. You just pull up a little bit.
No, this is... Are you Albert?
Yeah.
Well, fucking get in the car. This is what you get. My father gave me the business, and my name's Dee, because we're limousine service, LSD.
Albert, Agnes and Ricky may have been hoping for a peaceful limo ride to their final shooting locations, but instead, what they were in store for was an unconventional type of limo driver in the Great Emerald Isle.
How long have you had your driver's license there,
Guys,
Dee?
you don't have to shout at me. I can hear you.
What Dee apparently could not hear were the calls from law enforcement to turn herself in for suspected arson.
They're coming for me.
Wait, why would they be coming for you? You have a record?
You shouldn't be asking those questions.
In the middle of shooting, Irish police and firemen engaged her in a high-speed chase after receiving tips from locals.
Should we be worried about something? Get down? Get down?
It was at this moment that Dee was arrested and taken into custody. But once again, Albert overcame the odds and decided to even use what remained of the Jeep for good. Let's take a look at the final scene after Agnes's character kills Ricky Santiago's character and attempts to ride off into the sunset with his lifeless body in the passenger seat.
love. That's no life at all, is it, Elric? Join us next week for a very, very special edition of Real Look. My friend Meryl is popping in. I think you all know who I mean. I am your host, Beatrix Altringham. Join us next week for Real Look. Thank you and good night.